Do you know that creativity and global citizenship have more than a few elements in common? They do. They both designate highly complex phenomena involving a system of personal and social attributes and processes, and they are relatively modern concepts. But at the same time, there are also notable differences between the two. For example, creativity is often studied as an individual intrapsychological attribute leading to novel and useful outcomes, while global citizenship is widely regarded as a social, political, and educational construct understood both as a set of skills and as a process, as I mentioned before. There are also 5 principles that are foundational for both phenomena, due to not only can global citizenship values both creativity, since creativity is also deeply involved in the making of global citizens. Also, each of these principles plays a fundamental role in being creative as a global citizen, which does not mean that they necessarily play this role in practice of creativity or global citizenship at all times and in all contexts. So, as you can notice, there are many ways to construct these two phenomena, besides critical, sociocultural, and political approaches. The first principle is seeking differences. Difference is at the heart of both creativity and global citizenship. Now, in the case of creativity, there are a series of generative gaps that lead to the emergence of novelty. It's the difference between self and others, the material and the symbolic, the past, the present, and future. And in the case of global citizenship, is the difference between us and them and the need for a brother. So, according to this principle, creativity and global citizenship grow out of what Glavenau and Begetto call openness to difference as the active search for meaningful differences. So, the second principle is valuing multiplicity. It's being open to difference since it leads to a multiplicity of understandings, practice, and identities. Valuing difference encapsulates another essential characteristic of creativity and global citizenship, that is the appreciation of different points of view and different positions in the world. Without this appreciation, there cannot be authentic dialogue established between self and others. At the same time, valuing should not be mistaken for concurring. One can be open to the perspective of others without accepting it in an uncritical manner. The third principle is promoting dialogue. The benefits of engaging with difference and multiplicity can only be brought about through constructive dialogue. So, this dynamic has been discussed at length by the father of dialogues, Mikhail Bakhtin, who considered the tension between different voices in dialogue as something to be cherished than ignored. Dialogism also has to GCE due to the fact that it requires reflexivity and critical thinking. Because promoting dialogue in this context can maintain the open-mindedness and tolerance that are commonly seen as the hallmarks of global citizens. Therefore, the critical consciousness associated with such dialogues is particularly useful in fighting oppressive creativity and negative effects in globalization. So the fourth principle is increasing participation as a consequence of dialogue. In creative work, it is a participation of marginal positions that give creators a better chance to go beyond the conventional and towards the construction of unique perspectives. So, increased participation means, in this context, allowing a variety of positions and perspectives to address the concept of global instead of relying on hegemonic and singular understanding. And finally, the fifth principle is acting ethically. This is because ethical issues and concerns are implicitly referenced in both types of literature, given the fact that ultimately both to create and be a global citizen are social phenomena embedded within self-other relations. And in the case of creativity, its scientific definition often includes the notions of value, utility, or appropriateness. Creativity is one of the few phenomena dealt with by science that supposedly has positive consequences in terms of morality and values, included in its definition. In the case of global citizenship, acting ethically is referred in the responsibility of global citizens towards themselves, other people, and the environment. I hope you understood me because that's all.